in this world right now, it's so hard to come up with your own identity, right? To come up with who you are, like actually look internally and go, this is what I want to do with my life. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what my dreams and desires are. Have a vision board, right?
G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Uneducated Entrepreneurs. My name's Dan and this is Pete.
I'm back.
How are we doing this week?
It's been pretty full on. I mean, life is just intense. I guess that's why I missed last week. I think I was sick again last week, guys.
Yeah.
Look after your health. Like it's just I can't catch a break. I put my kid into daycare. Now he flipping is like coming home with every whatnot sickness, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Fantastic times.
What can you do? What can you do? You just gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess.
Now, so for those Pete that haven't watched last week's, we talked about time management, and I also alluded to the fact that Pete is probably burning himself out, hence why he's so sick all the time. So, if you haven't watched that episode yet, go check it out. It'll be above Pete's head. With a few minor network issues this morning, hopefully we'll be able to get a podcast out sorted because that'd be ideal.
Fingers crossed. Time management is such an important thing. Understanding time management, understanding being able to what your limits are. I mean, I'm still discovering what my limits are. I think it's more so not that my time management is bad, it's that I got sick with COVID at the beginning of the year. And then because my son's in daycare, he sort of brings home every sickness, and then I just catch every sickness that he catches because my immune system hasn't been able to catch up.
So before we get started, make sure you like, share, hit the bell, and subscribe on YouTube. You can check out all of our businesses down below. The links will be there. If you didn't watch last week's episode, it'll be above Pete. And if you want to earn some extra cash, my referral link for Uber Eats is down below as well. Back to the podcast.
It's funny. It's all good. It's all fun and games, but it gets pretty full on. You need to make sure you got a healthy work. I think I always talk about this. I like harp on about this stuff. I'm like, healthy work-life balance. You need to have a good personal life. You need to enjoy yourself. You need to, because I mean, there's all these people out there. Here's the real issue that I see on YouTube, and I've been watching a lot of leadership podcasts and stuff again. And just a lot of those really big business people, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I work harder than you." Like there was this, what was it? Gary V and Grant Cardone were together, and Gary V was saying that he goes, "Who do you think works more, me or you?" And I'm like, "Do you know what? Why does it matter who works more? Yes, you've got to put effort in, but if you don't have a healthy balance, it's kind of." He goes, "No, I work harder." And they had this kind of like measuring dicks thing, like
pissing contest, right?
We probably have to edit. Yeah, they're having a bit of a pissing contest, right? Yeah. And they're like, they go, "Oh nah," and I'm like, "Who cares?" Right? They're both worth so much money. Why does it matter? Because they both harp on about, if you're not up at 4 a.m. in the morning, going to the gym and getting ready to work from 7 until 12 o'clock at night, you're gonna get nowhere. And I'm like,
I mean, I think that comes also back down to their brand as well. They've branded themselves as someone that works tirelessly, and they don't take any breaks or anything. So it probably comes back to brand. So I mean, that is important to keep on top of, but I don't think it needs to be the case for everyone.
No, why work tirelessly when you can work efficiently?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like a lot of the guys that I listen to, I listen to a guy called Craig Rochelle. So he's actually a pastor of a massive church. They have heaps of churches all over the place, and he talks about it, and he says that he talks about the most important part is that first couple of hours in your day, because you've got still energy, you've got decision-making capability, you've got all of that sort of stuff, because you've just woken up, have a good meal, go work out, feel good about yourself, get some tasks done, like make your bed, like get all that done, and then you're going to feel awesome because you've already accomplished something for the day, and then smash out. Just have a couple of hours of just like hard work, do all your important stuff in the morning, and then structure out your day to have
Yeah.
menial things afterwards, things that are important, but you do it as in your priority levels go high importance in the morning, lower importance, lower importance. Because then by the end of the day,
Yeah.
to be honest, you're making
It's like,
terrible decisions by the end. Like
yeah,
it's just the way that it is. Like um, because your body can't handle making decisions on that kind of low energy. And it doesn't matter. People say, "Oh, work more." Maybe don't work more. Maybe have more focus. Because I find personally in my life, just this last couple of weeks, as we were talking about the last couple of weeks, I found that what I do is I try to focus really, really hard for about 2 or 3 hours in the day in the morning. I go, okay, I've got to get A, B, C, D, E, F done
yeah,
in these first couple of hours. And if I smash that out, then I'm like, sweet. I'm like, okay, cool. I've done my list for today. Everything else that I get done is just a bonus. And it's not massively a huge priority to do. So then I start
mm,
working on things like when I was in the office, because I was working in my office yesterday with the rest of my team, was working on culture. So I'm like, all right, so now it's a cultural thing. Let's just walk around, have conversations. Culture's important, um,
yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
not a decision that needs to be made. So, like for our
No,
company, we've still been looking for commercial property. So I've been scouring
I'm
for
still
commercial
looking.
property, commercial
Oh,
premises. Yeah, we are
yeah,
still looking. We did
wow,
find a place that we thought about going, and we were going to put an offer in, but it got taken by somebody else. It's fine.
yeah,
We'll find the right place. Commercial property always comes
that's
up.
exactly it.
And I don't know what's going on in the world right now, so it'll be interesting
Yeah,
to
I
see.
know, because we were discussing before jumping on, like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, don't know. I haven't really been doing much because I've been moving. We've been in the new house, as you can see, new area. Hopefully, it's not too echoey. But yeah, we've been in a new place for 2 weeks now, and so we're just
Yeah,
still unpacking boxes and settling in. So
mate, that's going to be
um,
forever because I still have boxes that I haven't unpacked.
I
And then
know.
you realize
I feel like if you have boxes left over after a
you
certain
throw
time,
them
just
out.
throw that box out. Just throw it out. Obviously, it's not important. Just get rid of it. Like
Yeah, but
simple
then
as
the
that.
issue is then you're looking at it and you go, oh, actually, I could use that, and you forgot that you had it, and you go, then I don't have to buy more. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's decluttering. Like it's so
yeah,
easy to keep things that are useless.
yeah. Exactly.
You don't actually need.
Yeah.
Oh, back to
Yes.
the podcast. Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so all these people, like I said, I've been watching all these YouTubers again, and
Mm,
just getting I don't know, just because you've always got to, if you don't fill your mind with stuff, you're gonna fill it with trash, right? Like it's so
yeah,
easy if you don't plan your day, it's gonna end up
yeah,
being rubbish,
yeah.
right?
Just be
Like
making it
if
up as you go.
yes, and you've got to like every single day I have a notebook, right? It's empty today. Right? Well, this isn't my
Yeah.
notebook. This is my wife's notebook. I don't even have a pen in this office.
Oh
But
my.
every single day I write a list, and mate, they're messy as heck. Like
Yeah.
they're not neat. Like you probably can't even read some of this stuff, right?
No, probably not.
Um, right? But
The
it's
reading
not
stuff.
for anybody else, it's for you. And you've got to have these
Yeah.
goals. And if you don't have goals that you can attain, you're going to go nowhere. That's the difference between high functioning people and people that are just happy with life plodding along is you've got to
Mm,
have a goal. You've got to set what you want. You've got to go after what
yeah.
you want, right? See, my issue personally is we've just done. Oh, I don't know what we should talk about today. We should talk about
Perfect.
personality testing,
Gotcha.
right? It's one of the most brilliant things you should do because it actually helps you discover who you are,
Yeah.
and helps you find your strengths and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, a lot of the times it is very obvious, but like you could think about it yourself. But like for example, in a working environment, so we've just done this is kind of tying back in with the leadership development stuff.
Yeah.
Is we've just done personality testing for all of our staff
Gotcha.
so that we can work out how we all work together well and what
Yeah.
strengths and what weaknesses each of us
Yeah.
have.
What was the personality test you did with that? Because was it
Uh,
a online thing or did you
yes,
have
it
someone
does
come in?
cost money.
Yeah, the best things cost money. It is what it is. Just
Uh,
for the listeners that might be interested in doing the personality test, it'll be linked down below.
yes, I'll find it. I'll find
Yeah,
it.
cool.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's a really good one for your team as well. So
Yeah.
what we found was that I was the only person in influencer. So like as in Go figure.
Nice.
Um,
Get your camera out.
um, in like mine was communication was my first one. Second one
Yep.
was I think it was influencing. Third one was belief. Fourth one was um, they call it woo. So
Oh,
these are all really good for sales. So woo is like wooing somebody, like being able to win them over.
I use
So
woo instead
it's
of manipulating.
no. Well, woo's like being able to go,
Wow.
hey, look at this awesome product that we have,
Yeah.
right? And being able to go, this is like, what do you need? Okay, so you need this, this, and this. So hey, we've actually got this product, which, or this
Yeah.
service, or whatever it is. It's a sales thing. Being able to go, this is why you need it in your life. Blah 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 blah. And being able to talk them around into, or even them around into liking you. It's woo is usually the people that have lots of people surrounding them,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm a natural salesman. For example, like I'm really into gel blasting right now, right? So
He is.
as
He really
Ed
is.
probably knows, it's an
Yes.
expensive hobby, but it's really fun because it's like military simulation stuff. It's really good for team bonding because
Mm.
you have to work together. It's really good for relationship development. It's really good for a whole. See, I'm doing woo right now, so I'm selling people on gel blasting, right? So that's an example
Yeah.
of what woo actually is. So going, hey, this is why it's so awesome. Being able to win people over and go, this is why you should partake in this awesome
Yeah.
thing, this awesome product. And woo
Yeah.
usually works better with people that genuinely believe in the product. So you've got to understand your product. You got to understand what it is. But I'm really into gel blasting right now. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost my train of
Wooing.
thought.
No, no,
Yeah,
wooing.
but
So you're
yeah, but
explaining why
that's
wooing.
oh yeah. So I'm really into gel blasting right now. So
Yeah.
what I've done is now I've actually got. So it's just it was me. I was into it first, and then I got one of my mates who's actually now one of my employees into it.
Yeah.
And he got really, really into it. And I was like, just because I was like, hey, come on board with this thing. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. It's good fitness. It's good team working. It's good networking. It's good relationship building. Everything. It was just so
Good,
much fun. So
good networking comes back to how can I make more money?
yeah, well, I got offered to buy into like a gel blaster store. So
I mean,
yeah, it is.
that's the habits. Yeah.
So it
It's
is
all
good
right.
networking, right?
Yeah.
And so he got on board, and then I got another mate of mine on board, and then I got another mate of mine on board, and then now coming up on this Sunday, we have like 10 people, maybe more, going to an event that I normally would only take 2 or 3 people to, just
Yeah.
because I was like, hey, come along, it's so much fun, give it a go.
Yeah.
It's only X amount of dollars. Just see how you like it, and then like the Gel Blaster store. Um, there's I'm gonna just say it's called Bulletproof Customs. Awesome place. They'll customize all your stuff and all that sort of thing. They
Mm.
haven't plugged us to say this. They don't even know I have a
It'd be
Facebook
nice if they
page.
did.
Oh, yeah, I can talk to them.
I mean, why
But
not,
he's a
right?
lovely as guy. Why not? He's a
Yeah.
lovely, lovely guy. But
Yeah.
they'll actually talk with you, and they have an awesome model on gel blasting,
Mm.
right, which is different to other places. And so he's really cool. So they'll custom do all your stuff. It is hexy, so I've gone full hog on one of my blasters, and it's going to cost me about. Oh, I don't know if I want to say because my wife might
It's
watch
going to
this.
cost them a lot of money.
Uh, a lot of money,
Yes.
over $1,000.
Yes.
So,
But no more than 10.
just
No
to
more than 10. There's your range.
no more than 10, but no more than 2, so
Yeah.
but over a
Okay, that
thousand,
sounds better.
um,
Yeah.
but yes, because oh man, that's nuts. But you get an awesome quality product,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
so this is going back to that personality testing. This is so what I'm doing now is a sales technique, right? Like I've already, because I believe in a product, or if I enjoy a product or something's really good, I'm naturally sales, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not my business, right? But
Mm.
I've received a good service, I will go and refer. So this then goes back on to providing good service, good customer service,
Yeah,
and then you can
exactly.
actually turn your people into your sales team,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm not I don't work for Bulletproof Customs. They've given me an awesome service. I like their
Yeah.
service. So now I've
Yeah.
referred, and I've already referred 2 other people on that have gone and spent $1,500 at their gel
Yeah.
blaster store,
Wow.
right? Like, and that's just how I am naturally, right? So
yeah,
when you understand how your mind works naturally, you can
mm,
actually plan out your days, your weeks, your you can go,
yeah,
actually, do you know what? I am at administration. I am rubbish
yeah,
at administration. I can't do administration, right?
no,
Like I'm terrible.
yeah,
So here's my thing. I'm brilliant at, oh, the other one is, my final one is futurist. So I'm really good at
yeah,
planning. I'm really good at looking at the vision and seeing the future and going, oh
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking in a crystal ball. No, I'm kidding. I'm really, really,
I'm looking
man,
at a crystal ball. All
man,
right, we've gone
I've gone
from
super spiritual, like Christian one side and
from Christian
crystal
to crystal
balls.
balls. We're fully encompassing and accepting here. It's fine.
Um, no, so I'm really good at. I love looking at vision. Vision casting is was something that I'm really good at. I just
Yeah,
I love the creativity of vision casting. I love the
yeah,
creativity of being able to look towards the future and aim towards a goal. But I
yeah,
suck at the step to step stuff. Like I'm terrible at administration. Like
yeah,
I have a general manager who's always on my back about where's your receipts, and I'm like I forgot my receipts again. Just because in my mind I don't, because I also have autism, so like I
yeah.
focus so much on the things that I really enjoy and I'm good at,
Mm,
and the rest of it I actually just leave, um,
yeah.
which is
It's
bad,
like I'm not doing anything
right?
else.
Which is
Yeah,
terrible. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, if you can't do something, hire somebody to do it for you, right? So that's why you do
yeah,
this personality thing. So you find a
yeah,
personality that works for you. So the rest of my team in my office and in my administration team, they're all
mm,
high on admin and learning.
mm,
Like they all love learning and administration, right?
yeah,
So they're a great team to have in the office, but they're not going to generate sales. They're not going to generate increased profit or revenue or anything like. Actually, they might generate increased profit because they may find ways of finding more effective ways
yeah,
to get profit within an organization,
yeah,
right? But they're not going to generate new incoming sales,
yeah.
right? Which is
Gotcha.
why you have to have a service that either you have to have somebody in your organization that is really good at the sales side, woo, futurist, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Something similar to what I like my personality typing. You need someone who's really good at communication,
yeah,
and then they need to believe the product. They need to or service, depending on what you're providing.
mm,
This is for an organization, right? This is for people
yeah,
within the organization. You can do it all as a sole trader. You can do it all as
yeah,
um, as by yourself. It's just a
yeah,
lot more difficult. And the other thing is, or if you don't have that person currently within your organization, or somebody, if you're starting a business and you're starting
mm,
it with somebody else, right?
yeah,
Have try and make sure one of you can focus on that
yeah,
sort of stuff, grow in that
yeah,
area, even though it may not be naturally what they naturally go towards, right?
mm,
But with these personality tests,
yeah,
and what you're naturally drawn to, your affinity, they can change. They change over time. So
yeah,
since I've
exactly.
started a business, because I had to be involved with so much in sales,
Yeah,
right? That's why my personality is drawn towards that, right? So it doesn't mean you can't focus on other things and grow.
no,
It's just harder.
yeah, no. I think a lot of the time you're going to be doing a lot. Like especially as a sole trader, you do everything.
Yeah.
But then having that personality test, you know where your strengths lie and where
Yes.
you should start looking to outsource for like other parts of aspects of your business. So if you need someone to, run a service or design a website or something like that, like if you have an idea of sort of what is your strength, then like, it's going to help you regardless. And then that also comes sort of ties in with I'm definitely sure my personality keeps switching uh, as we do. Not like BPD, not bipolar, not like that. But
Multiple personality disorder.
yeah, so good. No, no. With just like my mindset on how to run a business, so obviously going from a sole trader switching to more of a company and like the benefits with that is like because I know last week I mentioned we were going to talk a bit about a plan as to what I was thinking or hoping to accomplish with the company, which I actually forgot to talk about in that episode. So we can do that. But I think since talking about that sole trader to company, that episode, which was 2 episodes ago, um, and then moving up to animal, so Gimpy, so more rural and remote. not super rural. I'm pretty close to town still, but as it is, like it sort of switched my mindset to be like, well, I see all of these potential like employees. So they're usually friends or just like almost workmates where they've got a quality. I'm like, I've seen you go from floor stuff. Like, for example, I have two Macca's staff, I know, of all people, that I want to poach for a company. I don't know what the company's going to be about, but like, there's
Oh,
probably.
jeez.
I know,
You're putting the
exactly,
cart before the horse, mate.
exactly, exactly my point. So, like, but my thinking behind it is I have people that I'm like, I see their potential, and they're just not like reaching it. Like, they could be doing so much more. They're not happy in their job. They want
Would you
to sort
hire
of.
me, Dan?
I'm hoping to. No, higher. It'd be more like a board, like a sounding board. This
A
is what I'm
business
thinking.
coach.
Yeah, potentially. But like it's more so creating a company where people actually want to work. They can go to their strengths, where they they enjoy going to work, and then paying them well as well, and not being like minimum wage. Being like, hey, look, I want to pay you as much as I physically possibly can. It's finding the company and the business model to do that, whether it's a service, a product, like whatever it be. Like there's a lot of moving parts, but that's kind of where I want to be looking on top of all my other businesses. So that's nothing has been set up yet. I haven't acted. I'm thinking about it. So I've gone better from my last businesses. I'm mulling over the idea of starting a company.
Mulling over.
Mulling. Yeah.
Muling.
So
That's a mule. You put the horse,
yeah,
the cart
yeah,
before the mule.
same. But like the personality test is definitely going to come in helpful with that because I'll be able to sort of see where they lie, what their interests are, like how they operate, whether they prefer a team or working by themselves, like what's going to be their benefit, and then capitalizing on that so that they can make a good wage and that the business makes money as well.
Yeah.
So it's finding that, which is the company that I was talking about last week, which I didn't mention. But yeah, definitely paying people way above what they're awarded. Do you have something to say?
No, yeah, it's so important to get people in their strengths. Like I love what the Jewish culture does over in Israel. They have a whole different model of things in regards to like um, the doctor, right? The doctor doesn't fix his car,
Yep.
right? The reason the doctor doesn't fix his car is because the doctor, he says, I'm not a mechanic. He goes,
Yep.
but I know the best mechanic on my street, and I take
Yep.
my car to him, right? And it's just like the mechanic doesn't try and patch himself up, or the mechanic doesn't try to build his house. He goes, no,
Yep.
I'm not a builder, I'm a mechanic, right? I
Yep.
love being a mechanic. That's who I am. That's what I identify with. That's what I
Yep.
enjoy. That's what I'm passionate about. But I know the best builder on my block, and
Yep.
that builder does my builds my house or builds
Yep.
my patio. And it's like the builder doesn't go, oh, I've just shot myself with a nail, I'm going to pull it out and fix it myself,
It
right? He
happens.
goes, no, I'm not a doctor, but I know the best doctor, and he lives on my
Yeah.
street, right? So what they
Exactly.
do is they're so hyper focused
Yeah.
on what they're. That's why they excelled so quickly in development of new technologies. That's why they've excelled so quickly in development of everything. Like they're leading edge on so many different areas. Is because they don't try to do everything. They're not a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, there's a bigger saying. I love that saying.
Yeah,
We
I'm
talked
just like,
about
by the way,
that.
there's a big saying to that.
Yes, I
It's
love that saying.
are you going to get it up properly? Like the
Yes.
actual saying? Because I think it goes jack of all trades, master of none, but generally better than the master of one at more things. I think get the correct wording because it's like
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none, though oftentimes better than the master of one.
yeah, pretty much exactly what I said. Nailed it.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
there's always yeah. You
but
go.
when they master, so if you've got What I love is I love that they're hyper focused on what they want to do.
Mm. Yeah.
Right. I think um, the thing with a jack of all trades, right? I don't know if I've ever talked about this. This is going a bit deeper into like personality type stuff,
That's fun.
with which is kind of what we're talking about anyway, which is good for business to know. So I'm a bit of a jack of all trades usually. Like I can adapt depending on the situation. That's a salesy type of thing,
Yeah.
right? So they say a jack of all trades, but here's the thing. So I'm sort of like a jack of all trades. I'm able to relate to lots of different people, being cars, being construction, being businesses, being
Mm.
in the care industry. So like paramedics, nurses, doctors. I'm able to talk
Yeah.
to all these different people. I'd never
Yeah.
really excelled in one particular area of um, of like any particular industry, and that was just because I believed myself to be a jack of all trades but master of none. Like I'm happy to pick up tools and do whatever I
Yeah.
need to in the backyard. I'm happy to cut
Yeah.
down trees. I can learn how to do that. I'm happy to pull apart a computer if I have to, fix the computer. I'm happy to do all that sort of thing. But what I've realized over time, and this is just what I believe, is that a jack of all trades, master of none, is actually a master of something, and that's the master of
Yeah.
adaptation,
Well, yeah,
right?
that's exactly it.
And that's what I
Mm.
wholeheartedly believe is you sometimes need a jack of all trades, somebody who's not the best at everything, but they can
Yeah.
do so many different things that
Yeah.
they're adaptable. Like that adaptability, entrepreneurs are adaptable. So if you're
Yeah.
an
Exactly.
entrepreneur, you have to be a jack of all trades, master of none,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're going to be too fixated on one thing, and then it's
Yeah.
not going to work. But obviously, that's when you're starting the business. You have to be a jack of all trades. But then you
Mm.
realize as you start to grow in your business, and your business develops, you go, all right, I don't have to be a jack of all trades. Actually, I'm pretty rubbish at
Yeah.
accounting stuff and making bookkeeping, right? So
Yeah.
let's bring in a bookkeeper. That's what I did
Yeah.
first. I was like, man, I'm lagging behind. Like I'm doing it, but I'm doing it wrong, and I'm just doing my
Yeah.
best to
Yeah.
just keep my accountant happy. Um,
Yeah.
and then so the first person I brought on was a bookkeeper,
Yeah.
right? So I brought
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
bookkeeper on first because that was the area that I
Mm.
had the most trouble with, right? I was doing it, and I was doing payroll and invoicing and all of that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and I continued to do that for a little bit until they took over that role because it was just something that I could do, but I wasn't passionate about and I wasn't the
Yeah.
best at. They were brilliant
Yeah.
at it,
Yeah.
right?
I think
And then you,
and
yeah, go.
sorry, I'll just interject there. I think when it comes to like entrepreneuring and starting your business, you generally are going to be able to do something of everything. Like you just
Yeah,
have to because you haven't got that
yes.
staff yet. You know, you're still just working by yourself. So
You haven't got cash flow.
like,
You don't have money.
yeah. And I think like that can be a strength as well. It's like because you've almost gone through, because I know a couple of like founders and CEOs nowadays, they've been through like they've come through the software engineer route, so they can go to their software engineers and like be like, hey, they have a basic understanding of what needs to be done. Like, hey, I need to be doing this, but and they're not afraid to ask, like because obviously they're going to be better at it, which is why they're employed. But like
Mm.
they have a basic understanding of what needs to be done and what is being done that they can relate and then build that culture, which then comes back to the culture because you can like sort of almost have a conversation and like an intellectual conversation, not just small talk. Small talk annoys me so much. I can do it, but I would rather be like, let's actually talk about what needs to be done and how we're going to do it, and then get them to do it, and then not micromanage. So it definitely like comes back to you're going to be able to do something of everything in your business, um,
You and
and
I
then it's
differ
going to
so
help
much
you.
on that.
Yeah,
I love
well,
small
yeah.
talk.
Look, I mean,
Because
it's
do you know why I
different.
love small talk?
Why do you love small talk?
Because people love small talk.
Yeah, that's why I said I can do it. I just
I know.
doesn't mean
I know.
I enjoy doing it, but like I mean, like I can still do it and have a good conversation. Like
Yeah,
it's like I'm
small
not
talk.
saying I'm terrible at it.
No, no.
Mm,
What I
you go.
found is small talk is a segue. I mean, you can do it. Like that's an entrepreneur thing. Like I could do administration stuff. I didn't
Yeah,
like it. I
yeah,
hated. I had to force myself to sit down at night and do invoices. Right.
yeah.
Um, I hated it, but I did it. Right.
Mm,
And I could do it. Like I was fine at it, but it wasn't what drove me. But
yeah,
what I find is this: I guess I'm a bit more focused on, which is really interesting because I'm a bit more focused on, like when Dan and I were setting up this Uneducated Entrepreneurs, was
mm,
Dan's like, oh, I know what to do. We can do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, hey, I'm great at content, and I could talk the ear off a horse. Like,
Yeah.
I love
It's good.
just talking for the sake of
Yeah.
talking, right? And being able to like hopefully share some advice.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like it was interesting watching and seeing different people like how Dan functions. It would be interesting. We should get Dan should do the personality test before next week, and I
I
should
probably
write
will.
down what I think he is, and see if I can guess it right.
I mean, look, you might be surprised. Like you could be surprised. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I was going to do one anyways to get that idea.
Yeah, it's like 20
I was,
bucks or something like that.
that's not too bad. Yeah,
So, and it gives you your top 5 personality stuff, which is
decent.
awesome. And then it makes you go, okay, that's how I work. Okay, I
Mm.
need to fill this, 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 and role.
Yeah, and I think going back to that as well with the personality is it's gonna like everyone should definitely do it. Like you might think, oh, it's just dumb. Like you see those Facebook things like check your personality. I'm like, that's definitely not a thing. What are you doing there?
Nothing.
All right, it's definitely good to.
I have my knee taped up, and for one of the parts of the knee, tape
right.
has come off. So, and
So he's
it's
got
like
to fix it
ripping
right
on my,
now in the middle of
it's
recording.
ripping on the hairs on my leg, and it's like annoying the heck out of me. Sorry, guys.
Oh wow.
That was just
Anyways, we'll cut that out.
That's my autism going.
Look, all
Twang.
right. Yeah.
I didn't
So
even think that I
everyone
was
should.
on camera too. I was like, I forgot that I was being videoed. And I was like, ah.
Fantastic.
Oh,
So, not on
just leave
camera,
it in. Who
we
cares?
see your face. Yeah, it's fine. Everyone should definitely do a personality because it's going to help you. So I know when starting a business is like a lot of people don't know sort of where to start, like how to, they know they want to do a business, but they don't know like what they should focus on first. And so then getting the personality will sort of start directing you into a way like, well, that's my strength. So I'm going to start focusing on that. And then as you need, you'll bring in other skills and things like so if you need to start doing some coding, or like as Pete's wife, Jess, was saying, she's starting to learn coding because she needs that for her systems and operations. I can't imagine she started the business being like, I want to be a coder. No, she's grown into it
She didn't start
because
the
like it
business.
was just needed. Well, yeah, but like
Left
she
me
didn't
to
when
start
she
it.
started. I know, but when she started in the business, working,
I was all alone, guys. Even my wife wouldn't help me.
oh, yeah, the joys of being an entrepreneur. But then having that personality, being like, well, these are my strengths. So this is the idea that I'm working with. It's also a problem I'm trying to fix. So if I focus my direction around my strengths, and then as I need, adapt and learn the different skills, then you're going to be able to, slingshot yourself into the future a lot quicker. Which is what you want. Like, at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck doing nothing.
At the end of the day,
for
you want to
ages.
understand who you are, because that even just not even business. Let's take business out of it, right? Take business completely out of this whole thing in your personal life, right? Is you need to understand. See, this is the hardest thing right now, right? We have so much consumption of social media, videos, influencers coming out going, hey, this is how my life is. This is how you should live your life. We have all these high functioning business people going, hey, stop the crap. You need to cut out everything. Or you have the beans and rice, right? You have all these people telling you how to act, right? But the issue is most people don't even know who they are. Like, how are you supposed to, like, in this world right now, it's so hard to come up with your own identity, right? To come up with who you are, like actually look internally and go, this is what I want to do with my life. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what my dreams and desires are. Have a vision board, right? If that's the way you're inclined. Like it's awesome. Like I think it's great to have an understanding, go, this is my goal. This is what I want to get to, right? Like right now, my personal goal with my wife is we want 10 investment properties within the next 10 years, right? So that's our personal goal, not business goal. This is separate, right? And so we're writing up these goals. We go, we want a happy, healthy family. We want our kids to grow up in a healthy environment. We want to be able to be financially successful, financially stable. We want to be able to have land. We want to be able to have a place for them to grow up. Like that's why we bought the place that we're at now, was because it was part of our vision of who we are as a family and who we identify as a family.
Mm.
But we couldn't do that until we understood who Jess and I were individually as people,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what drives us, and what pushes us, and
Mm.
what we're passionate about. And you need to discover that, because until you discover that personality, until you discover who you are as a person, right, you're going to get nowhere. Spend
Yeah.
time listening to meditation music and just reflecting on your life, going, okay, do I want to do construction? Hang on, let me
Mm.
picture myself doing construction, being a builder, being
Yeah.
a chippy, being whatever. Hang on, no, that's not something I'm interested in. Let's try this, let's try that,
Yeah.
let's envision yourself in those sort of situations,
Mm.
right? Even give them a go. Like, if you're not sure on something, go, hey, I want to try being a tradie. All right, see if you
Yeah.
can get in as a laborer, and then see if you can work your way around, try it out. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
so many different things. Like, life it's not the end of the world if you lose a job or change the job.
Yeah.
Money
Exactly.
comes and goes,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah. I
just the
think
way, and
it
money's not
definitely.
even worth any. Money's not worth anything anyway.
With inflation, it's worth absolutely nothing. It
It's
kind of half pays your bills, and that's about it.
yeah, it's worth jack.
Yeah.
Like, it's money is nothing. Assets are things,
Mm.
and life experiences.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, every really, really rich person that I know that has
Mm.
gone to their deathbed, they haven't gone, I wish I earned $100 million more dollars, or I wish I'd earned more money.
Yeah.
No, they go, I wish I'd spent more time with my family. I
Yeah.
wish
Or
I
more
had
experiences.
seen the
Yeah.
world, or gone
Yeah.
skydiving, or I wish I had
Yeah.
this, or spoken with my old school friend that I had a good time with, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've got to be. So at the end of the day, business is not for everybody, right?
No,
Hopefully everybody on this
definitely not.
chat they're all for business, right?
I
But
mean,
business
or
is
you're
not
thinking
for
about
everybody.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully. Business is not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes life experiences. I'm passionate about business. Dan is passionate about business, right? That's what I look back on, and I go, yeah, I could look back on my life and go, do you
Yeah.
know what? I did the best that I could,
Yeah.
right? And
Exactly.
yes, I wish I had a bit more experiences, but I don't think about it as the money side of things. I think about it as
Yeah.
the experiences. Money buys
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
Money
Exactly.
frees up time. Um,
Mm.
but you can have a great time without it. Like,
Mm.
get in your car, drive to the beach, and spend the day sitting at the beach. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Things like that. Go to a rainforest, being able to grab a
Yeah. Do something
tent,
different.
get in a
Mm.
tent, go to a rainforest, and then just chill out, have a fire, out there, do different things, try different things,
Mm.
find out who you are as a person. When you find out who you are as a person, you're going to be the most successful entrepreneurs. So look back on it. People, the really famous rich people, Gary V, right? I was just joking about them before, right? He knows who he is. He knows what he's
Yeah.
passionate about, and he really enjoys what he does,
Yeah.
right? But you're not Gary V,
No,
right?
definitely not.
You're not, what was the other guy's name?
Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone.
Elon
Grant
Musk.
Cardone, huh?
I can
Elon
just
Musk.
keep listing off rich people.
Yeah, we can listen.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about the ones that I've talked about today. Grant
Yeah.
Cardone, right? They push. They're very intense. They know who they are,
Yeah.
right? They know who they are. They know what they're good at. Their sales, all of that sort of
Mm.
stuff. You're not Grant
Yeah.
Cardone,
No,
right? You're you,
exactly.
right? And you are never ever gonna be those people. Like,
Yeah.
there's only ever gonna be one you. So if you understand who you are and what your strengths are,
Yeah.
you're gonna be the best person that you can be in life, in business, right? In relationships, in friendships, in everything.
Yeah.
You're gonna just be the best you that you can be. You're not Kevin O'Leary, right? Kevin O'Leary is Kevin O'Leary, and you're never gonna be him. And people shouldn't expect you to be those people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
People do
Exactly.
expect you to be those people, right? But you're
Yeah.
never going to be able to, if you
Mm.
measure yourself up against those people, how about you measure yourself up against yourself and go, okay, this
Yeah.
is what I'm good at. This is what I'm capable of doing. If I'm not meeting that or exceeding that, okay, then I need to
Mm.
fix something in my life.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't measure yourself against Grant Cardone, Gary V, Kevin O'Leary, Elon Musk, all these people that
No.
are like the elite of society, right?
Yeah.
They're the elite of society for a reason. They've sacrificed marriages, they've sacrificed lifetime, they've sacrificed
Mm.
experiences. Like, Elon Musk has been married flipping what 3 or 4 times.
I think so. Yeah.
all of these people. I think Kevin O'Leary is still married to his same wife.
I think so. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Like
Legend.
that's not to say that all marriages are going to fail if you get into business.
No.
That's definitely not the case.
That's not the case,
Unfortunately,
but
like Jeff Bezos,
there are
he's one.
sacrifices that have to happen.
Yeah.
right? There are
Definitely.
sacrifices that you have to make to be high functioning. One of them
Yeah.
is not having a life when you're in your 20s, right? Like
It's so
you're
good.
not right. All these people are like,
Uh,
I'm gonna go to Ibiza and I'm gonna go
but
to
no.
Bali and I'm gonna party it up. I'm gonna go out on the weekends and get sloshed, right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs don't do that. They're
No.
like, actually,
Exactly.
why would I
In
waste all this
saying
money
that, yeah,
forgetting my life
yeah. In saying
and
that,
saying that? What?
you could class influencers almost as entrepreneurs, but like I heard something the other day. I do not think this at all, but like influencers are the first lazy millionaires. Because essentially, if you think of an influencer, all they do is film themselves. I'm out eating. I'm out doing this. Like a lot of them are just showing you their life, them enjoying life. And there was another. I'm not going to get it right, but like there was something about comparing to an influencer as like just because they're overseas having an acai bowl at Bali or whatever, like doesn't mean like that's fulfilling for everyone. It comes back to that part.
Here's the
Like,
other thing, though. Those
mm,
influencers, they're also the elite of the elite,
yeah,
right? Like that
creating
doesn't happen
content is
very often.
difficult. Yeah,
Yes,
creating
and that
content
doesn't
is
happen.
difficult.
That doesn't happen very often. People don't become successful. Look at the
Mm,
so we go, oh, look at all these. I'm going to be an influencer. Yeah, there's millions of influencers out. People trying to be influencers
mm,
out there, and
yeah,
there's only a couple of thousand that have actually
yeah,
made
they
it.
make it.
Like
Yeah,
you've gotta put it into perspective. Like there are
yeah,
so many people out there that are trying and that could have all the exact same. It's luck sometimes. This is what I
mm,
find hard is a lot of this stuff. There is obviously if you look at some Mr. Beast stuff videos, things like that, right? He
mm,
talks about he goes, yes, there is a method, there is a reason for why he's successful, and he's
yeah,
so focused on that. But a lot of people who are influencers accidentally happened. Like, how many
yeah,
influencers have come about because of like a viral video that happened, and then
yeah,
they just
exactly.
capitalized on that viral video.
Mm.
Like
Yeah, but that still takes work.
you can't predict.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can't predict. It still takes work. Like, sure,
sometimes.
you get a viral video, but then if you don't capitalize on it, like if you don't put in the work to put content out regularly, you're creating an audience. Because at the end of the day, the audience is what's going to get you your sponsors, your
Yeah,
deals, monies, etc. Like that. Like that's what's going to happen. But if you're not constantly on your content and putting stuff out, like it's just not going to happen. Pete mentioned Mr. Beast. He's got so many different channels. Like he is probably the epitome of an influencer. Like he's right up there as like one of the top influencers out there. But he's got his own
yeah.
like Feastables, which is a chocolate brand that he's created. He's got his own like six or
I may
seven
have
different
triggered
YouTube
Dan in
channels.
this.
Nah, he's fine.
I think I
He's fine.
triggered you. I think I triggered you.
There's a,
I was like, oh, nah, they get an accidental. Dan's like, it's not accidental. I'm going to
no,
capitalize on it. You got to
well,
rah,
no,
rah,
no, no, no,
rah,
no.
rah. And
I
Dan's like,
agree.
you're wrong, Peter.
I agree. There is
You're-
definitely a lot of luck in it, but if you don't capitalize on that luck, it's just all to waste.
Oh, man. It was so funny
But
because I went on this little, and all of a sudden he's like, no,
tangent,
they've got to do this, and they've got to influence this, and this. And oh, it's all right. I do tangents all the time. It's funny to
yeah,
get you into one.
it's amusing because Pete doesn't edit this podcast either, so I know how much effort it is editing a podcast. I'm like, this is one piece of content compared to
I'm
the
technologically illiterate,
like
so
20, 30 pieces of content all of the other influencers doing. But at the end of the day,
dude, they
it
have a
comes back
team
to you like,
behind them though. The editors,
yes.
like Mr. Beast, flipping has like 100 editors.
Oh, yeah,
Like
but he didn't have that. He started doing it all himself. Like he's gone
he
from
did it
doing
all on a
everything
phone.
himself with his yeah, and he actually it's funny. I was watching a video, like a behind the scenes of Mr. Beast. He
Mm.
films everything. He can film into 8K. He's got cameras that can film up to 8K,
He doesn't
but
use them.
he chooses to do it in 1080 because it's like it doesn't seem real. It seems too
Yes.
professional, and it's like, well, that's not our brand. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
work that goes into being an influencer. So we're not dissing influencers, but I did hear someone term an influencer as the lazy millionaire. Because yes, they can make a lot of money, but I'm like,
I wouldn't
that's
call
still a lot of
Mr.
work.
Beast an influencer. He's a content creator. I think there's a difference between influencers and content creators.
Yeah,
Influencer
yeah,
isn't.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Beast isn't telling you how to live your life.
No, that's true. There's
Mr.
different
Beast is
aspects for sure.
creating videos.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't believe Mr. Beast is an influencer. He's a content creator, and people love his content, right? But
mm,
an influencer is somebody like I don't want to say anyone. But an influencer's like, hey, this is how you
Like,
should
I'm
live your
not gonna.
life, or hey, look
Yeah,
at my life. I'm
yeah,
partying in Ibiza, or
yeah.
whatever.
Like, and it's up to
Mr. Beast
everyone.
doesn't do that.
Yeah, but you could also
So
still class him as an influencer as well. He is still influencing people through his content creation. Um, but like he
I want
wouldn't,
to look into that further. That'd be interesting.
yeah, he wouldn't, as in content creators versus influencers, or Mr.
Yeah.
Beast content creation versus influencer.
No,
We can look at a
content
couple of case
creators
studies.
versus
Mm.
influencers.
Yeah, the content
Case
creation.
studies.
Hey, why not case studies? Let's get fancy. No,
Oh my
it's fine.
gosh, that was
So
funny.
we probably need to start wrapping because you need to go do some work, and I need to start editing.
Yeah, I do.
Do we want to wrap?
All right,
So what have we talked
guys,
about?
thank you so much for coming. Huh? What did we talk about? Personalities, guys,
Personalities.
get personality tested. It changes your life. It changes the way you focus on business.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the day, when you work out what you're good at, what you're not good at, you can hire people, or you can find areas that you need to develop in and grow
yeah,
in and focus on. So it's so important, especially when you've got multiple people within your organization. Um, it would be really interesting to talk to Caitlin about this
yeah.
as well. So
No,
she
for sure,
is,
because she's right in the fashion industry, so she would probably
yeah,
be
and so
dealing
she
with
has employees as
influencers.
well.
Hmm. Yeah, I was almost going to
Yeah,
message her
so
earlier in
it'd
the
be
week
interesting.
and be like, "You want to quickly jump on?" Because we're like, "What are we going to talk about?" I'm like, I could have quickly grabbed her, but anyways, yes, personalities. Check it
Personalities.
out.
So get your personality stuff. So it's awesome. It's honestly
Mm.
incredible. I love personality stuff. Keep developing yourself, because at the end of the day, you are your business, right?
Yeah,
Very in the beginning, until the business becomes big enough to be self-sustaining,
yeah, exactly.
right? Because that's the big difference. Is you
Mm.
are your business very early on,
Yeah,
right? But then your business is no longer you, and you've got to work out a place to divide that.
yeah. Personality
So
link will be down below. So the one that Pete used and the one that I'll do during the week, and we'll come back and talk about it, will be linked down below. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. We hope you enjoyed it. Last week's episode will be above Pete. Actually, no, it'll be on the screen somewhere. Sorry, I've changed it. It'll be on the screen somewhere. And until next week, we will. Until not next week, until next episode, we will see you then. Thanks.
see you then, guys. Have a good one.